What it is, guys, and welcome back to Comic Studio. And before I'll begin of this video, it has been 2 days after the Roblox ban on Indonesian children for a bad moderation reasons. I cannot believe this is absolutely for some sort of an event around here since the deadline 2 days ago. And it was absolutely for the emotional ending of my custom world around everywhere. I may not able to show everything around here in Roblox Studio because in my case, I have here in my files that I have saved and refuse to post anything as well as we wanted around here. We're gonna be talking about this later, and let's talk about my story down in December. Until the next story, we're absolutely going to head out to for something as well for this one, because nothing meanwhile is going to be for look like this. Policemen's everywhere onto the checkpoint borders as well. I'm not very sure. This is absolutely some sort of a bad news around here for this one, so I cannot absolutely going to be voice acting like any about that tragedy as well, as we're going to be starting up from the story all the way down into the end. So, well, it wasn't going to be that tricky day, and I never since it wasn't going to be for that easy as well. So, let me tell you about the story about myself that I have not welcomed around here into the town. So, my old hometown was the town and country subdivision county, or some sort of Springville County as well. I'm pretty sure this is absolutely for some sort of a county as well, full of American vehicles, and everywhere where it goes look like anything like mixed of American and European vehicles, like civilian and heavy-duty commercial vehicles, or something like that. So, if I'm gonna be trying to start here, I was not welcomed into my hometown of home, or some sort of town and country subdivision county. This county like this is absolutely big as old luxury that things have come to a rotten reasons that I may not actually going to ask you to say. I'm barely trying to find something out, especially I'm being blocked by the police around here, but I'm trapped forever, that I'm stuck here for this for good, and I cannot actually go back where I just came here, that I wasn't recognized anymore around here since that the police have just replaced for this one as well. So anyways, let's probably to get on here for this one. PNG policemen's and police cars, plus PNG civil vehicles like the Chevrolet Traverse. So here we go. I'm right here in Walnutverse Comic Studio, and let's just probably begin around here for this one. So I'm not very sure if I'm just going to say that even quickly as well. I lost my mind because that police have just tried to arrest me for sure when I came in to this town. So this is a policeman from the Bully. I don't know where he came from other kinds of games, but we'll know we're gonna be started around the story all the way that I'm not probably sure my license have been almost revoked around here. So we're gonna begin up the story, and well, first thing that I was headed home around here as fast as you can when it's been raining for so long, according to the early or mid-winter runs, or some sort of like mid-winter weather conditions like this. I cannot believe this is not Southeast Asia, this is North America. And sometimes that they did it eventually letting me in as possible, that I'm not pretty sure that yells at me as well. Because he says, "Hey you! Stop, I know your driver's license was suspended for long. Let me see your ID and your location for the authorization." Well, I never absolutely said that already. I always refuse to talk among of these people because I'm very tensioned here. It's very something as well that I'm not very sure. I don't get it, sir. Do I? I have my driver's license that I renewed 1 year ago. Here, let me see. The officer said around here as well. As you can see here, no, 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 wrong, wrong, wrong. Your license was expired a year ago, and you're not authorized here. God, there's no way I can let it here. I'm not sure. He does not absolutely letting me in this town. For my town. Wait a second. I would come back to my hometown as fast as possible, but I'm too young to talk to foreigners. Yes, this is why I'm too old to talk for foreigners, because I'm unable to be speaking for some lots of foreign languages anymore. I only speak Italian language, including French, Spanish, and even more languages like Japan, Chinese, or even Korean, that I'm not going to be saying this, that it's not important to be around here for saying around here for just like that. But I cannot believe I just still eventually tried to speak Russian around here, but I tried a little bit harder, but it's impossible to say like anything as well. You cannot come back illegally your driver's license. You cannot come back illegally. Your driver's license is gone. If that is absolutely said, this is a real life policeman that I'm not probably sure. He runs again to return back, and he'll be trying again. Unfortunately, this is a bad news for me when it's raining too much. I dried myself in the tent, and I should be able to get back around here for sometimes ever again. The policeman forces to turn back away from the other towns as well. I'm not sure. Another exit is absolutely not permanently in the town. This ain't going to be good for a long time as well. Until this isn't going to be for this one that I'm not gonna say here. Alright, the police quotes like this that yells, "Stop! Go back now! This is your first warning." And another again that yells, "Turn back around, cyclist! Go back where you came from out of town!" And later once again, I absolutely going to say around here for this one, I have speak 2 times around here. And I yelled around here, "My home is in your town here. By the way, my name is Kiwi Cookie." No, this is not my name. That's me, Voltex Dodgers, around here. Pretend this is me, and I cannot believe that I could get myself all the way in as well. When he expired his license around here, he will not be authorized to get in his town anymore. That he yells that I am here to find my home. Your identification isn't valid. Get out of here. Your identification isn't valid. Get out of here, yells the police officer. And yes, he definitely talked about of this agreement, and I cannot believe 2 of which between a police officer and Kiwi Cookie are about to agree each other. But unfortunately, this police officer refuses to agree. He can't agree with this for this long time because I'm not probably sure. Police had enough of it. This policeman had enough with him for pretty much for a long time, because he eventually said, "Not anymore, you're not welcome here." I'm not very sure. This is not absolutely that says around here. This is your 4th warning. Leave this area now. And when I say, "We need to talk. This is my address here. I'm going home. Let's go." I'm not very sure. if I'm gonna be added a little bit more, we're gonna be talking about of this agreement. And then that police guy says, not anymore, you're not welcome here because your address is invalid. Your address is invalid. That's why you don't belong into your locations. God, this can't be true. This is not absolutely going to be something else. And eventually, he kicked out of my hometown. This isn't going to be probably good that I was saying. But there is more quotes with that policeman from the bully, but I don't really think he says, I'm not letting you in this town since your authorization is expired. You cannot ask about any questions for this agreement. No more agreements for you, but you have no choice to do, and this is your 5th warning on you. I don't care about your address, and I don't recognize you anyway. Get out! And don't come back here. And that's how that felt to me sad. And I just absolutely getting all the way for around here. But this time, for his revenge, and very later again, and yells, here I come! And goes into, for this one, this is where I got pulled over around here. It was since 2 years ago when I got pulled over. Not anymore, but that eventually blocked off the road and ended me up in arrest in the sidewalk. But I cannot believe this wasn't going to be eventually happen into this other kind of town. I got busted. Well, for the first time I got busted around here since summer of 2024. This is absolutely making me a bad feeling of me for this one. But definitely, I was absolutely rapidly driving myself all the way for this one and passing through the toll gate. And the police yells, hold it right there, cyclist. You're not allowed in this town. I don't care. I'm coming home. Hey, you violated the law. Get out now. That is how is eventually going all the way invading their villages as well. So definitely this comes to any of these things as well. In a few miles, he comes after me and I confuse the cops and I cannot believe I've been pulled over for around for this one is pretty rare. I have agreed around here and I have signed this anything as well before I get out of this other kinds of town border. I'm not very sure that the Soviets have just caught me off red-handed. And well, Kiwi Cookie was also caught, including me, that I'm not very sure. It does not make any sense. Then the police car came over and quoted, cyclists, pull over to the side of the road. And when we have the complete stop, please step out of the bicycle, sir. And well, these two policemen from real life giving him a hands up. That quoted says, put your hands up, little one. Do you know that I pulled you over? And well, that is absolutely continuing to do this. He eventually kicked out of his village. License, registrations, and insurance. How fast are you going with that bike? Listen, my name is Kiwi Cookie, and I came home for my address. That doesn't make any sense according to the guard's agreement. He couldn't trust you like anything like that. Especially I'm not actually going to be for something like that anyway. He doesn't care about you and your address. That's not fair, said Kiwi Cookie. You have any warnings, you have been kicked out of this town. You cannot go back any time, said the another police officer in the car now cyclist. And so, he eventually and taking him out of the town and went into the police station. Later, good riddance, officers. He won't come back at any moment for long. If he sees me, we will find him down for good, said that police officer. And this is absolutely the high alert of conflicts has just begun. 1.5 hours later, it's no use to go home by now. They've almost revoked my license, and now it's over for me that I'm homeless, said Kiwi Cookie. All I have to do is wait for my mom and drive home for me. I need someone to help to pick me up, cried Kiwi Cookie. Sometimes it has been taking for 3 hours until one day she eventually arrives at the scene around here after he walked away from the police station. So, this is a Chevy Traverse, and one of the previous one is the Crown Victoria. Something else isn't going to be around like this thing as well. I yelled about my mother that says, "Mom, please, I better hide from the police before they try to find my bike. The border guard said I'm not welcome here in my hometown. If I went there, I'll be arrested for trespassing approach to break in. Just take me home, please. I'm begging you, Mom. And get into the back of the car. We'll have a discussions later," said my mother around here for this one. And a few yards later, that she approaches into the border, and well, she have finally made it safe for me around as well, as the police officer have looked to him, and definitely he looked to the tire marks about his bike of Kiwi Cookie. "I do not see you yet," said the officer. This is actually the last appearance around here. Later at home, I'm not very sure. I have loaded the bike into the trunk, including myself that I'm hiding from the police. As we absolutely getting home for myself, I absolutely getting off with my bike as well, almost damaging for the interiors of my old car around here. This is not a 4Runner tuner like this thing as well. It's a Chevrolet Traverse. As I get off and went home around here for just like this. "Hey, thanks for bringing me safe for hiding from police." "No problem. I better hide before the police finds my bike and gets impounded. Hopefully, they won't able to find out someday," said Kiwi Cookie, and that's how the story ends, and he eventually hide his bike for good. He won't absolutely get out of the town until he will never able to return. If I getting out of this town for the one last time, I am no longer able to return back to my residence. And so, that was the end of the story around here for this one. I have just went out of this and drive back home. Or riding back home for right here for just like this in a ways as well. So that's how the story goes around here for this one. And thankfully, that will be the end of this video. So, if you're going to be checking out of this link in the description around here, it's not my drafts or someone's drafts. You can make your own drafts that how much this is not going to be anything or how it takes. Can you make an animation story about me? And I'm not very sure that I wasn't welcomed into this hometown for that anymore. That eventually my mom has just absolutely went me there. She went to approach me around as well, and putting my bag or my bike into the trunk of the car and went home safely without any alerts from police or anything about this situation. This is probably definitely my story now. And can you make about the animation of me for not welcoming into my hometown? So definitely you could check out of this link in the description. Instead, you could request to make an animation about me anyways. Well, now gonna be see you in the next video around here to do this, but eventually thanks for watching. That I am pretty sure that I'm just started to get a little bit confused of that story. I'll make an of this alternative story around here, and meanwhile inside back in the police station. But I'm not pretty sure I'm just going to get rid of these comics that I just written this story around of this thing about my arrests or something as well. So thankfully we already talked about of this story a while ago, and definitely it was over 20 minutes of this video. You can check it out, Comic Studio, link in description of the main website, and you can check it out, Walnut Cookie or some sort of Walnutverse comic studio to check it out like this, because you could create anything as well as you wanted, but not created a lot of comic creators as possible. You could actually make your own comics and other kinds of comic creators themselves, or something like in other browsing comics, like anything that should before, and you could join any communities and browse a lot of comics where you wanted to do, as you see this as anyways. So that is the end of the video, and we'll be see you next video around here in 2 days as well. And this is TC is signing off, and I'll talk to you mini lads and comic studio users all later.